So let's look at how we can type these larger formulas from 8.1 and 8.2 into our calculator. So this is from two sample hypothesis testing for independent samples. We're going to do one from Z and we're going to do one from T when we had equal variances. So from 8.1, we were talking about Z. We're going to go ahead and start by making our fraction. So it is the alpha button, alpha, and then y equals. You get this nice little pop-up. If you don't see the pop-up, it means your calculator needs to do an update. So there is a cord you can connect your calculator to the computer. You can go to the Texas Instrument website and look up the latest update. It's kind of like your cell phone, how you have to update it every once in a while. That's where you're going to get this pop-up if you don't currently see it. So if you do see it, once you get it on your calculator, you click enter. And it gives you this nice little fraction, just like my stat lab does. So on top, we can start typing in our sample means so that we are subtracting them from one another. We don't have anything to plug in for population mean, so you can put -0 or leave that off completely. Go down to the bottom. Now the whole bottom is underneath a radical, so you need to make the radical first, the square root. Then we can go in and put a fraction underneath. So now we can do it again. Alpha y equals, click enter on it, and you get these nice little fractions which make it really clear to see from your calculator to your paper exactly where everything should be. Now I do need another fraction in here. That's all there is to this one. That was our population standard deviation squared over our sample size. So I'm going to click the right arrow to get out from that one fraction, but notice I'm still underneath my square root. I hit the plus sign, still underneath my square root, and then I do it again, alpha y equals, and I fill in our next fraction. The important thing here is that that radical on bottom needs to stretch around all of these things on the bottom. So one radical, everything underneath it. And you can follow the square root symbol across the top, make sure it doesn't disappear. Everything's in there, so we click enter, and there's our answer. We round it off to 4, so 1.8545. We're good to go. Now I'm going to clear that. I'm going to clear the bottom, the key press history, and we'll start all over. This time we're going to do one that's an independent using our T because we have equal variances. So it's a little bit bigger of a formula, but we started out the same. We want to start with our fraction. On top, we're going to type in our two different sample means. So we were talking about cents here, 48 cents and 51 cents. Again, we don't have anything to plug in for population mean, so you can either put -0 or leave it off. Now on bottom here, we have two different radicals. So we're going to start with our first one. We're going to put the fraction underneath, alpha y equals. And then we're going to start filling in. So this one is our sample size -1, close the parenthesis, times our standard deviation here, so 0.05 squared, plus, and then we're going to do it for our other sample. So our sample size -1, close the parenthesis, times the standard deviation squared. Hop down to the bottom, so down arrow to get to the bottom, and we're going to add our two sample sizes, -2. Now this is everything we needed for that first radical. So we're going to go right arrow, that gets us off of the fraction, but notice our little blinky stuff, our blinky cursor, is still underneath our radical. See how there's like the double line above it? The top line is your fraction bar, the second one is that radical. I do want to get out of my radical. So I'm going to hit my right arrow a second time. Notice I am now out from underneath my radical. I'm going to hit my times symbol. And then we're going to start the next radical. So another square root. Alpha y equals to get a fraction underneath. This is going to be 1 over our sample size. Again, to get out of a fraction, you hit right arrow once. I'm going to add to it another fraction, so alpha y equals again. 1 over 32. And I'm going to pause there. Everything's perfect. We're ready to hit enter. I just want to point out, and this is the thing to look for, make sure the first radical stops before the times, and then you have a second radical around those last two fractions you are adding together. That's the big thing to watch for on this one. Click enter. There's our answer, negative 1.9303, routed off to 4 decimal places.